Right.
Kusta 32, Wardell 30. Kusta, fantastic to see him back performing amazingly. But Wardell, he kept that up for the entire series, all 3 maps. He top fragged 2 and he got 30 kills in the other. So we won't beat on him for that. But yeah, he kept that going for an entire best of 3 series, and I've not seen anything like it.
Yeah, no, there hasn't been anything like it. Wardell is a player who has been regarded as can be inconsistent as an opper, but it seemed to be fired up this LAN, was consistent through the whole series. I mean, that's a long period of time. It's definitely focused, ready to go. And hair's on point for all these guys. It's just an aside. I mean,
I like crystals. It blends in as well.
He's got the pepper gray in a bit. I'm not sure if that's dye or not, but it's definitely either that or good genetics.
Do you want to give him some tips? You know, I feel like you.
Yeah, I kind of took that to the extreme, didn't I?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
you went a bit more than just a light sprinkle of gray.
I'm kind of learning, maybe. You know, maybe I need to tone it down. Who knows? Yeah, maybe I could be on Ghost. You know.
I mean, if you've got the motivation, go for it.
Yeah, I'm definitely fired up being up here on stage, looking at everybody get prepared, seeing the stage and the crowd, and it's so cool to meet fans and people here. And I know that because we're in Hong Kong, it is it is a scene that has a lot of esports fans here, but Counter-Strike is one of the kind of lower tier games in Asia. But there are still people here that are vying for it and constantly, like our Chinese commentators that you can find on the others.
To see, I mean, you've had plenty of people come up to you and ask you for photos. There's so many people here supporting the game, which is always nice to see. But second team on your screens now, we haven't just got Ghost, we've got the Polish powerhouse Kinguin, with VP being eliminated in the quarterfinals. This is the best Polish team left in the event. And hey, maybe looking to be the best team in the entire country. Who knows? No one really. I mean, I think at this point, Bialy off of Virtus Pro, like what's happening? I don't know, man. It's getting a little weird. Maybe joining here.
Is there room? Is there room? I mean, we're not going to name names, but there's no one's really slouching yesterday. Mels stood out in particular. There were definitely a couple of great maps from Taz. I think even the third map versus Tyloo, he fell a little bit short, but then in the first 2, did so much that it really helped him go the distance.
Yeah, I mean, not that it's really a surprise because he's typically top of the board, but Maniz had some fantastic CS as well. I definitely feel like your credit needs to go towards him. He really is. Again, he was kind of on the list of one of these upcoming Polish players. So to see him on this roster alongside Taz, with years of leadership and knowledge and experience, that's really nice to see them gelling well. And Taz only joined a few months ago, but already this team is starting to find a lot more success than they had without him in. So yeah, hey, maybe VP are falling apart, but the pieces of the puzzle are slotting in well to the other scenes.
I was talking about this, and you brought up a great point in the taxi over here. It was that yesterday I mentioned that Taz just 3-4 months ago had the worst rating in his professional CSGO career. That's when he's at his lowest point possible, and since then has now leveled off and is back at kind of where he was at a decent level on Virtus Pro. And you mentioned just how far up has he brought this team?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, right? Because this team, at least as a core, has existed for so damn long and still not really had too much success. They've not really made it out of their tier. And then we have Taz in the team. He suddenly joins. They go instantly make a minor. They qualify, beating Imperial and Wendigo, 2 very strong teams in the EU division right now, to make it here to Hong Kong. And the point I was making was, it seems like, yes, okay, VP may be falling apart, but the players individually, they're not bad. They're not bad on their own, right? You take them out and you put them in another team, and they've all found success so far. We've got Taz here, we've got Snacks obviously finding success in Mousesports. He looked really good so far, and I can't wait to see how that progresses. So yeah, okay, Bialy may be leaving, but there could be bright things for the future.
Definitely. And yeah, Taz showing his value, just like the IGL coming onto a new team. It's like, oh, where's Taz going to go, and will he stay relevant? And it's like, clearly he's making a name for himself. It's kind of a similar story to Steel. I mean, Steel, for different reasons, has to play on a lower tier of team, but with the players that he's finally kind of amassed and just attracted with the success that he brought with his previous lineups with Swag, AZK, Poyo, these players, he's now on a team that's just it's like they could have qualified, our major qualifying tier teams.
Yeah, and I mean, it's nice to see actually young stars that were given a lot of hype, like Wardell, like Kusta, just be able to finally mix in with Steel and actually find success, right? Turn this individual talent that we know they have into some actual LAN results, beating top-tier teams. I mean, they knocked out Optic yesterday. Optic, again, newish lineup, but a team with so many stars on that should, without a doubt, be making it to the grand finals.
Some of these players could have potentially got on Astralis at some point. They were considered, they were in the mix for that. They were, have played at the major. It's like...
Yeah, they have have, in my opinion, one of the top 5 like Danish players in the form of Config. You could even make an argument for Yugi as well being up there to some considerable level, right? It's ridiculous to see how Ghost can come in with a a ragtag band of young stars and still find success.
Yeah, they look like a very complete package. Unfortunately, they made an early exit out of the tournament due to one of the teams that we're going to be casting today, but it's going to be a great matchup, man. It really is.
Well, sponsors on the screen now, but now we have the players back here. I want to hear your thoughts on Crystal so far in this team. Obviously, we've only seen very brief amount of games. The one LAN game yesterday and a couple of online performances. They've been shaky, but LAN is where it really matters. Steele was saying in his interview yesterday that Crystal just seems to be the piece of the puzzle that they needed. What do you any thoughts on that? At least it seems like a weird pickup.
Always been a good player, and everybody who knows anything knows that. Yeah. Everybody and their mama knows that. Crystal has always been a fantastic player with a lot of impact. He's just kind of gotten the short end of the stick when it comes to the teams and like his players getting stolen constantly, which was a big meme. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's his real life. That's like his actual real life that he has to deal with this. But now I think he's on a team that he can't. It feels like he's had players taken from him, but now he's a player on someone else's team. Like that's like the feeling I get now, and it feels like as long as he delivers considerable and as impact, he's going to have a place there, and that I don't think will be a problem. So I feel like he's got a lot of long way to go on this team, and as Josh was saying, as you were alluding to, and as we know, brings that kind of a European, a lot of experience playing in Europe, a lot of European ideas about how to play the game, and as we know, international is the new national, right? We've got a lot more success with lineups that are including people from different countries, and sometimes there are communication blips, but not with Crystal. Crystal's English is great, so it should fit like a shoe.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's not roster. I mean, you're seeing good point that you mentioned. I mean, at this point, it's not even like just the phase effect where you have their language just for one or two players. Different nationalities and one roster. I mean, you're seeing previously full country lineups add in change the view of bringing in people from their language just for one or two players. Look at NYBR at this event, a full Brazilian lineup speaking Portuguese today. So now bringing in 2 North American players and they're switching their language. The value of bringing in people from different scenes is clearly proving to be worthwhile. And hey, MIBR looked pretty sick yesterday, so let's hope that continues in stride as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All about the imports when you can get them with all of their settings and up on stage. Everybody getting prepared, and they have to do the walkout. So it's going to be a couple third floor of the before they are all feeling comfortable with all of their settings and Hong Kong. It is computers and everything like that from the inside. And we've got again 2 games today. This is the third floor of the Hong Kong Convention Center, the biggest convention center in Hong Kong. It is absolutely the biggest music festival in Hong Kong from the inside and out, and the views are spectacular. If you ever get a lot of people coming over to Hong Kong, make sure to hit up the island and come by. Interested in League of Legends Convention Center. Today we have a music festival in EMF, the biggest music festival in Hong Kong. One of the biggest in Asia in totality, and a lot of people coming over who may be interested in PUBG, may be interested in League of Legends. They got a little League of Legends tournament, and also are filtering in for CSGO. And this is the way that we see it, our chance to convert. This is our chance to knock on some doors, put our feet in.
How many people actually show up? We've started to pack out the arena a little bit. We got quite a few front seats full, so hopefully if you are in Hong Kong, be sure to drop by, as Landis said. But I think another note to make is the cutthroat format of this tournament. For those who have been unaware or didn't watch the game, here on day number 2 of the 3-day event, single elimination, best of 3 semi-finals, winner goes on to the grand final. And not only is it cutthroat in the tournament format, but it's also pretty top heavy in terms of prize pool. $300,000 on the line, 200 of those to first place.
First place, I mean, that's a real win or lose. I remember watching a StarCraft 2 tournament. I think it was an Intel sponsored event where another Intel sponsored event, Intel sponsor of this event, always getting their hands at esports, which is great. But it was for 100K, I think, for first place, and no one else got anything else. And I mean, these players, they play for the money, right? But they also play for the pride. They play for the respect. They play to be the best and to prove it. But you're in the top 2, and you get to the point where you're thinking about, all right, I mean, we want to win more than anything else. But the difference between $200,000 and $100,000 is really going to stick out your mind, in the final few rounds of any match.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. Yeah, as you say, it's not just money as well. I feel like Ghost kind of highlighted this in the interview with Steel prior to the event, in the sense that they need to constantly improve. Steel was saying, if we're not constantly improving, what's the point?
What's the point?
There's no reason to be playing. You should always be improving, and this is some great experience for them as well. Again, they've already played a top-tier European team, knocked them out the tournament, in fact, and they may have a chance to continue doing that here with another European team. So Ghost, who haven't actually got anything else on the line, at least coming up in terms of other lands, this is pretty important for them. This is a chance to play EU opposition, whereas domestically they can only play NA online. So hopefully we'll be seeing them more EU, more Asian lands, more NA lands everywhere. And the same story with Kinguin as well, getting the chance to play at a higher tier of land than that of they are used to.
Yeah, now the stat might be totally untrue, but I'm pretty sure that was for the regional qualifier for ZOTAC was the first time that we had Steel win an event since.
Wow.
So yeah, no, and this is an opportunity for him to do the back-to-back, the two-time potentially.
I'm a fighter. You can't burn me. I'm the igniter. Gonna be a legend. Gonna take it all. Watch me crush it like a wrecking ball. On fire, so high to the top is where I'm heading. Gonna be a legend. You're looking at a legend. Gonna be a legend.
Hard work makes the athlete, but the edge of a Core i7 processor makes you unstoppable.
Watch games and win free prizes. Earn free coins when you watch CSGO, Fortnite, and PUBG. Use your coins to predict the match and win free crates. Or enter your coins directly into our huge grand raffles. Hundreds of winners every day, 24/7. Watch and win prizes. 100% free to play. Win.sliver.tv. Available on web and mobile apps.
Thank you very much for waiting, ladies and gentlemen. We apologize for the delay. We were just waiting for those players to ready up, get set, and prepared for the match that we do have. It is Ghost, it is Kinguin, and you are Launders.
Yes, I'm Launders, and you're the Byron. The
That's
bye-bye.
me. That's
They
me.
call you the Byron in high school. Was any nicknames?
No.
No?
No.
Got away with just the Hughes.
Yeah, it's a rare enough name, I think, in England.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never met another Hugo.
It's a good one. You've got a very unique voice. You sound like a character.
Okay.
You sound like a character.
I'll take that as a
I feel like
compliment,
you
but I
could,
feel
you
like
could easily make a cartoon out of the Byron.
Always just constantly improve and be better than we were. Just constantly just improve because there's no reason to just stay at the same level. It's just a waste of time otherwise. I think we'd be one of the underdogs to watch. There's 3 teams right now in the top 15 teams at this tournament, so we're not one of them. I think our world ranking is something in the 30s, so we would be one of the underdogs for this tournament.
Sabrosa.
Yeah.
He's on Ghost. Do you know that?
Really? I thought it was James. I mean, our conversation just got cut off more than I do with women, so like, I'm not too sure what happened there. I also noticed
that's
you
saying a
moved
lot.
away from me.
I know,
so,
we're not in arm's reach anymore. It's a little bit
I mean, under the table.
under the table. Anything can happen. That's where dreams are made.
Yeah. Okay.
How old are you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I usually get my ID checked. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Either way, we do have this game in just a moment. I think the players are readying up behind us right now on the stage. So, yeah, I don't think we have the veto ready just yet, but obviously I think that's going to affect your decision making. But I want to hear kind of where you're leaning on. You've not really given me a solid answer, and I'm not going to let you get away with that.
No, listen, I'm very pointed about my predictions, all right? You can't just go ahead and, all right. I think in terms of the veto, if we're going to theory strike about it,
Yeah.
I think one of the surprises was obviously Nuke. I think that's actually a map that's going to be left in. It's not going to be banned by Ghost. I'm certainly not going to get banned by Kinguin, so I think there's a chance there for them to end up playing it, maybe even a first picker. If I'm the first pick, I'm not going to pick Nuke, though. I'm just going to leave it in, let the other team pick it, if that's what I want, and then I can go ahead and pick something stronger for myself. Inferno is a map that I think that Kinguin might play, but also might regret. I don't know.
Yeah, surely you think they'd be scared after watching Ghost absolutely tear Optic
Exactly,
yesterday. And I'd say even the same for Nuke, right? Typically, maybe not if this was an opening game. You think, oh, surely we can beat Ghost on Nuke. But Optic on Nuke, I mean, yeah, okay, the team may have not lived up to expectations, but that's been a great Danish map forever. So for Ghost to actually win that game, surely that's got to strike some fear in the minds of Kinguin.
So here's the thing: when you're playing against a team and you have just seen what they played recently, you have the most relevant, the freshest game tape. You know exactly what they might do. You can learn some new tendencies. It's more fresh in your mind, and you know this is the team yesterday. They did this when everything was on the line at this very tournament. They haven't changed anything. So it's going to be worrying, like, let's say Kinguin decide to pick it. No, it's going to be worrying for Ghost because they're going to be like, well, why would you pick into us, right? And that might cause some double mind games, some underwater, upside down, backgammon.
I mean, 4G chess. I think that's a good point, but I also think there's 2 ways you can look at it, right? Coming into the first game, that being yesterday, Ghost Optic, I think, you know, Ghost obviously did their research. They look very well prepared, at least on that new game especially. The way that they approached buy rounds in their outside control was shutting down Optic's you know, setups when they went for those outside plays. You know, every single time we have really aggressive CT outside positioning from Ghost, and that's something that worked out really well. I feel like Ghost came into that game very prepared, knowing what Optic wanted to do with that map. And because they've had weeks to do that. Now, yeah, okay, it's fresh in their mind. They just saw their opponents play yesterday, but they've only had 24 hours, even less, in fact, to prepare for this game. There's only so much prep you can do. I wonder how that's going to affect Ghost's side of things.
You know, and I don't even have the answers myself, but one thing I would ask if I was Paula, because I think this is something that you could totally mine from Steel, is to find out when, you know, he appears to be so prepared in these matchups versus other teams. Is it the anti-stratting? Or is it the individual setups and the tips he's giving his teammates as to how to be like prepared for spots that people will play and how they'll play them? And if that's the case, can they find a consistent way to play Nuke versus almost anybody? Or is it going to be something where they were particularly good against Optic because the Danish teams are so calculated, right? Because they have such, you know, reliable, and I don't want to say predictable because it has negative connotation, but kind of like a telegraphable place. I use a synonym. in them. I totally cheated. But at the end of the day,
I know what you're saying.
yeah, and I think the way around it is for these dangerous teams is to have a multitude of setups so that even if they're predictable, it's just too much to know about.
And hey, you can say, okay, predictable, but the thing is, even if Optic are predictable in the sense of like, oh, you know what they're going to do, knowing is only half the battle. You have to have players good enough to actually shut that down. You couldn't know what Optic are going to do, but if they just aim battle you and take you down the second you peek, it's not exactly going to save you. So
Yeah.
it's not maybe just Ghost in terms of preparation, but individually, man, they were hitting their shots. Waddell and Kuster especially.
That's a very good point. I mean, we've all been in matchmaking and been like, we're losing to these kids? Like, I know
Yeah.
exactly what they want to do. They still killing us, right? So that's definitely a situation where, you know, on an individual basis, they all need to perform. And that's what they got in Crystal. That's what they get with Wardell in peak physical and in-game condition. And we have the vetoes out. Perfect. All right, so let's take a look at this. Kinguin, Ben, they got rid of Inferno straight out the gate. Ghost don't play, Dust 2, done. Mirage is a pick. I think that's going to be fine for Ghost. And the nuke has been left in. So Kinguin, I think, are maybe they don't pick it, but I think at the same time, if I'm Kinguin, I say, all right, let's prepare for nuke. Let's not pick it. Let's not ban it, and let's see if they pick it.
Overpass is a third map as well, assuming we get down to that one. What do you think? Because we saw Ghost have their struggles on that map yesterday versus Optic, definitely. They only got 7 rounds in that entire map.
Yeah, so I think that was a surprise, though, because that was their map pick, right? Yeah, so I think that was a surprise for them. I think they're going to be happy to see it. I think that, again, 2 very different teams. Maybe it was Optic stylistically on that map. Maybe it was their level of preparation.
One massive thing, at least, that I noticed on Overpass, something that Connor was talking about, especially yesterday, was when we had Wardell going off in that first map on Nuke, right, that was sick, and then we went over to Overpass, and it seemed like Yugi was constantly hunting down Wardell. He would never let him escape. He would always make sure he won that AWP battle. We barely saw Wardell even on the AWP. He had Scout from time to time, especially on that CT side, so maybe if they can hunt down Wardell, try and get rid of him, don't let him have this shooting ground with the AWP on this map, because Overpass is such a good map for using that AWP on both sides. And then maybe that could help out Kinguin in that sense. But yeah, I'm very interested if we get down to that third map, how it's going to go. But now that you know the vetoes, I want to hear an official prediction. No more cheating.
Painted myself into a corner with this one. I've gone all the way through, talked about each map, and I honestly believe that there is a world where Ghost win this. I'm going to go ahead and take Ghost 2-1 on this one.
Ooh, okay.
You want to be different here, or do you actually
see?
You drinking the Kool-Aid, Byron?
I really don't know. I'm really stuck. I think I wanted to go with Ghost as well, but now that you've gone with them, it's like, it's such.
So you just hate what I like. That's fine.
No, I just hate you.
Right.
I won't lie. Actually, I don't think. I didn't see. I'm only going off of what I saw yesterday.
Okay.
In the sense of Overpass, right? I just don't think Ghost showed anything on that map.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, completely different team, of course, but I wouldn't.
Then they have a lot to show, huh?
Yeah. Maybe. Well, let's hope, right? I think either Ghost 2-0 this or Kinguin 2-1 this. I think that's
Ghost 2-0 or Kinguin 2-1. That's
I have to
fair.
pick one though. I have to pick one.
No, that's okay. Fine. If you have to commit to one, you think it's this in this shared version of reality in this predetermined universe where there is a winner. Who do you think that winner is going to be?
I'm going to go Ghost.
You're going to go Ghost.
Only surprise factor, though. I think, yeah, I think they're going to win this.
Okay.
I think it's going to be 2-0.
2-0, so then you're picking it 2-0.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going ahead and predicting a 2-1, which maybe is more of a long shot.
I still think we're both picking the underdog, though. I wouldn't say that Ghost are veto aside, I wouldn't say Ghost are by any means more proven than Kinguin.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. I think I think the level of experience is higher on Kinguin. I think the time that they spent together is going to be much more beneficial to them. It's players who are just, they're not random. They've just not gotten a lot of spotlight being the second best team in Poland for a long time, as it were, with Manice, with Rollin, and then formerly having Sparrow, having Innocent, right? These players are just, they were all contenders. So this is the team that Mihu came from to go to Virtus Pro. Like, these are all contenders to get on Virtus. I mean, this is a team that we don't often see in tournaments, but are definitely very, very good. So they should be more consistent overall. But Ghosts are on the rise.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm always looking for the new altcoin. So
the Dogecoin.
Altcoin.
No,
Doge?
Yeah, Dogecoin.
Oh, you're all in Dogecoin, yeah.
It's all the same. Yeah, well, cryptocurrency, that went well.
Yeah, that went well. Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't. Yikes.
Glad I got out of that one.
It's getting hot in here.
Yeah, I'm very excited regardless. I think it's very hard to predict this one, but Yeah, it's a weird matchup, I think.
Very strange.
I don't know. I don't have anything.
We've never seen. I know.
No,
I mean,
I've never seen a game like this, especially on a 300k LAN.
yeah. I don't. We'll probably never see it again.
No.
This is going to be the one time that we ever see this, which makes it more special than any Tier 1 matchup that you've ever seen in your life.
Better than the major final.
Better than the major final in some regards.
For FaZe, definitely.
Right. And you're getting to see Steel on stage, which is always going to be a rare sight, and it's always going to be exciting.
I hope he has his sticky notes back.
Yeah, that's actually really funny.
Do we have some interior shots?
Because we've got Glaive, who has the full-on notebook, right?
Yeah.
The full-on notebook that he opens up, that he has all of his drawing doodles in.
Why waste time with pages?
Exactly. It could all be right in front of you.
Do you think that's his sticky notes are more? I mean, I'm asking you a complete random question that you have absolutely no idea, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. Do you think his sticky notes are more ghost stuff or anti-strat stuff?
I think on Steel's sticky notes, it's try not to rage on the top left. So that's a nice reminder. Try not to rage. I think he's probably got maybe a couple strategies.
Wardell go kill.
Wardell go kill. Yeah, remember to say that every round. What else we got?
Crystal flash me.
Crystal flash me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's exciting to see Crystal in this team as well, right? We've had a bit of a downtime for him, sitting on the bench, not doing too much. He had some success. I mean, he's a player that has come under a lot of flack in the past. He's had a lot of, critics of his, but at the end of the day, he has made majors with, again, mixed European teams. Like, look at Penta. You can argue, okay, yeah, maybe Crystal isn't the top individual player in Europe, but he's certainly got something that makes him attractive to all these teams and players individually, making deep runs in events before. So
there are players who are basically less relevant than Crystal that are now, like Glaive, for example, was in a position where he was this known player, very good known player, and then kind of dipped out a little bit, came back, suddenly moved on to Heroic, and we're not here to talk about Glaive, but moved on to Heroic, had a short stint with Valde, and it was like, whoa, him and Valde are really good, and then finally made his way into Astralis, and it's just like winning major champ, like literally, IGL the best team on Earth, and and Crystal has kind of had similar notoriety as Glaive, just like a couple, and they're different people, but like I think they have it in them. Maybe
it's all about finding the right team
that can activate you. It really can. One of the greatest roster moves ever, automatic from TSM to Cloud9. When have you seen a greater transformation than that? And that should tell everybody that there's always the opportunity, if you put a person in the right circumstances, for them to perform and excel and exceed.
I mean, again, repeating ourselves, but this is just going back to the conversation we were having earlier about VP. Look at Snax. Snax was the worst performer, in my opinion, of VP for so long. Right before he left, and the point right before he left that team, he was the bottom performer, and then he joins Mouse, and instantly, like, he starts top fragging, top 2 fragging multiple games. So, it is just about finding the right team. It's about finding the right players and cohesion. And again, now that Crystal's not even tasked with having that IGL role, at least as rigidly as he has had in previous teams, at Steel, Crystal's just, helping out on the side, supporting his team, etc.
I think we do have an interview on stage, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. I don't know if we're going to go right into the game here, but we're getting a countdown, so I am assuming stuff's about to go down, Hugo.
During ZOTAC Hong Kong finals, I'm looking mostly forward to playing the tournament and trying to beat all the teams that are here. It would be really fun to play against the Virtus Pro in the final. I believe that the qualifiers for this tournament were pretty tough. It was many good teams, and I'm very proud of my team that we were able to qualify here. During this event, I really believe in our team. We had a bootcamp before this event. We play on a very high level, and this is just a matter of time when we show our true potential.
Well, that was Kinguin, and of course Taz, ex-VP player and IGL, this Polish squad. He said in this interview he'd love to play VP in the final. Well, he may be playing in the final, but VP aren't getting out of the quarters. So this is the deepest Polish team in the event. That is a weird sight.
That is extremely strange. And he looked relatively jovial this morning. I wonder if there's like a little bit of him that is kind of. I'm sure he doesn't want to root for anybody's failures or anything like that, but. Did get a little bit hairy at the end of Virtus Pro just between them. I mean, there's going to be baggage, you know, at being on a team for that long.
Not that he wants VP to fail, but it's got to feel good surpassing your ex-team with a okay, let's be undoubtedly fair, a worse team.
Yes.
In terms of experience and individual players and notability and past and history.
Right.
I mean, this is a worse team than VP.
Yeah.
But they have made a deeper run in the tournament. They have earned it, and they're looking to make it to the grand finals.
And they knocked out a team, I would say, other than MIBR, were definitely going to make it out of the group. You know.
Yeah. I mean, they knocked out a better team than the team that beat VP.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. You know, it's on merit.
Yeah.
It's only on merit that they were able to get here. Absolutely.
And as Taz said as well, I mean, they had tough opposition in the EU finals in Milan that we saw just a month prior. I was there. They managed to take the victory over Imperial in the semi-finals. That was Imperial right off the back of DreamHack Summer victory, where Esperanto went from his worst performance on LAN in Tour. He was the bottom-rated player of the entire event, and then went to DreamHack Summer and was the top-rated player, the MVP, and the winning team. And Kinguin just knock him out 2-1 a week later.
Right. Yeah. No, that's no small feat as well. That Esperanto boy. We got Reitz. We know where Reitz came from. No?
Poland.
Not much as Poland. Yeah, speaking of Poland, just the amount of money that is going to be won here goes quite the distance over in Poland.
That is true.
That is a lot of pierogies, my friend.
Some dumplings.
Dumplings, sausage and fries, and pierogies.
Everyone's favorite trio. Yeah, and prize pool breakdown for those unaware. Quarterfinal teams, so the bottom four that have already gone get nothing, apparently. Third and fourth place, so loser of this game is going to get $20,000 to take home. Second place is $60K, which is certainly not a bad pay rise, and then first place, $200,000. I certainly would not complain about that.
200 big ones, yeah.
Yeah. That's like, what, $40K a player? Not including any coach, org cut, etc.
Yeah, that's good.
Just splitting 5 ways.
That's nice to go in the bank. Retire for 4 months.
Yeah.
Retire for 4 months.
Or get 1.5 months of VP salary.
You don't have to play esports. You can just go ahead and run Dark Souls, stream Dark Souls for 3 months.
Yeah, the whole fixed PUBG movement, right? Same as Siege. Just trying to focus on all the problems of the game, and actually they've done a pretty good job of it. I was a bit of a critic of PUBG back in the start.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think that's
I think Shroud was the only person who could play the game and not make it look laggy recently, but yeah, I did take some time off. As they're not held to the same prestige as Cloud9 players of other games.
Yeah.
Because there's so many new games, but all these bigger tier 1 orgs are dipping their toes in with these smaller games or up and coming games, and it's going to be cool to see how big they get in the future, off the back of them having legitimate sponsors. That's got to be the best feeling. Get signed by Cloud. You're a player who's just picks up a game you like for fun, and suddenly Cloud9's in the game, and you're suddenly on Cloud9.
And a few months after starting as well, right? If we look at the CS teams, these guys have been playing for years, whereas PUBG, Battle Royale, this is new. But anyway, let's move on to the real game. It is Counter-Strike. We're in the first map of this best of 3 series, Kinguin versus Ghost, and straight into Mirage, the map pick of Kinguin. Straight into the B site as well. Kusa's already defending it up from short, and Subrosa's there as well. Couple of kills already coming through for the side of Ghost, and they are locking down this site. Bomb dropped out in the open. Kinguin with no footing, and one by one they're just getting decimated. Locked to the back of the van, and this is a drive-by shooting for Ghost.
Yeah, almost no options here. Manice here has the bomb in front of him, and 4 CTs ready to pounce. 2 taking a crouch peek. There was really no way for him to win that. That's kind of the best setup, and even though they were out in the open, so was he. So there it is. Ghost Gaming take the first round of the match, and that's going to make it a nice, good start for them. It's good confidence-building rounds. Don't start off the game yelling.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how Ghosts are going to approach this Mirage. Obviously, with this new roster on LAN, it's going to be something new at least. It's nice to see some teams we haven't had before play so deep into these tournaments. We've got a bit of a force coming through for Kinguin in the second round. They've got pistols, they've got armor. Taz has some utility to set them up over this A-bomb site. It's going to be Steel underneath the balcony. Everyone else is forfeited A. So right now, Kinguin are in a really good spot to get a bomb down unless Steel goes absolutely nuclear. But they do have armor. So flash smoke out. Going to try and pop himself and actually hide himself in the corner there, allowing his team to do the work and to get the kills instead. Steel's just going to get dropped as Miles falls in. But Wardell's rotated up from the CT spawn to try and hold the site. He can't do enough. Man advantage back in the hands of Kinguin, and they've even scavenged some guns off the back of that. Crystal, he's got to try and stop it, and he's doing so much damage through the wall. Reach down to 24, and Miles in a similar spot. This is still a winnable round for Ghost, but Kinguin have a bit of a breaking point. They're just holding on for the time being. The bomb hasn't crossed, and that's the big problem.
Yeah, bit of a messy go of it, but a good grenade. Doesn't actually hit, but I think it makes Reitz feel uncomfortable. And now in the 2-on-2, they haven't made enough of a trek across the site. They've got to clear these angles. It's not going to be easy to get a bomb down, and they don't have any armor to work with.
Still even have two smokes, one of them going out to the palace, just trying to cut off any kind of split from Kinguin. And now, as they haven't seen anyone for about 20 seconds, they're going to start to question whether it really is an A plate. Kinguin holding strong, still on ramp and under balcony, so they will be committed here, but Ghost are on the other side of the map. This isn't a big problem, they still have the kit.
Yeah, they still have a kit, but the time that it takes to get back means that they're going to be worried about so many more angles, and they're finally going to start to rotate. Actually taking a lot of time here. I mean, even walking on Cat, this is kind of curious, like, what is the value of actually guising your footsteps from this point on? And now they just start running. And yeah, clocks tick down, everyone's in comfortable spots.
Yeah, bomb's half ticked already. They need to get on this right now, and they don't even know where these two Ts are. First one's already shown his face, and Miles has done it. Crystal's the last man up, and he can't stand the test of time. Taz finishes it up, and Kinguin, they're going to win that round. That's all down to the time for Ghost.
That was messy. Steel is definitely going to have something to say about the communication there. I think he died under balcony throwing that smoke and then just getting spam killed with the P250. I'm pretty sure it seemed like he wanted to try to play to stay alive, but unfortunately died. And as for his teammates, it looked like they just lost control of A without having... It seemed like they were very unconfident about the fact that the rush was coming.
I feel like, especially when Crystal was sneaking on short, they were maybe expecting like a mid-player to be watching the bomb on like an open bomb plant. They were a bit scared of that, but either way, a new round, a new chance, mainly for Kinguin here. They're the ones armed to the teeth. Ghost down on pistols with a bit of armor behind it. Kinguin, on the other hand, they've got rifles, so this isn't going to be too much of a task for them because they've already worked in through the connector, a position that Ghost don't actually own, nor the A site. Kinguin just hiding around the edge of the smokes. This is a bit of a messy one, but it does allow Sabrosa to get into position. Kusta also landing his shot. Ghost might actually have a good chance, and Kusta's making it possible. Sabrosa can't follow up, but he can fall back and give himself another angle to reposition. As then his team start to fall around him, someone needs to make a hero play, but it just won't happen.
Yeah, an absolute slobber knocker so far with Kinguin leaving that round 3 up, and there was a small chance that it seemed like some of the kills could fall in the hands of Ghost, but so that wasn't the case today. That wasn't the case today. We'll see what happens now, as it is a full USP/P2K round. Kusta hanging on to the P2K.
What are you in that? You're a USP man? You're a P2K
I think
man?
that looking at like how many people have USPs and how many have P2Ks shows, I'd say I'd use a P2K 1/5 of the time. 20% of the time I got a P2K. I switch it. I mean,
switch every now and
it's a
then.
loadout. You can change it up, right? You don't have to commit too hard.
I'd like the ability to change like mid-game. That would definitely make things easier. But that'd be nice with the M4s at least, right? You know, whether you want to run silent or run, you know, the normal A4. Either way, Kinguin 3-1 up here on the T side. Good start to this map. They've got plenty of rifles, and they're going to take a quick tactical timeout as well. But look at Ghost by already in with the AWP.
Yeah, very smart move. And again, we want to see Wardell on the op as many rounds as possible. They've got to focus their economy around getting the op as often as they can. And this is a good first step. They don't have a lot of supporting utility. The amount of smokes that you have and counting the smokes that you have on CT side is extremely critical to having a consistent playstyle, not dropping those smokes too early, saving one for, you know, your op to be in connector for the Molotov that can come your way when he wants to peek mid. But the only way that you're going to be able to have your op have impact is with more than him just deciding to pick a spot to pick. Like, him dry peeking a spot just doesn't get you anything in 2018 as an opper. You've got to have teammates cause distraction, use their smokes and flashes and Molotovs to allow you to find favorable angles and also give you ways to fall back. First things first, dry peek out window. No smoke to the top mid as well. It's not often you'd be gifted an opportunity like this in today's game. It used to be about you know, Guardian and Device going into the window and looking for a dry peek up mid. But now the top mid smoke that often comes out takes a cat player like this to abuse the side of it. And the reason that it always lands on that side is so that from the perspective of the guy top mid, they can come around the corner of it and work their way up cat and peek the guy in window without obscuring their own vision.
It's nice to see how slow and methodical Kinguin are in mid as well. They don't just charge out when they don't know whether Ghost have an AWP in their hands or not. I mean, he's not going for any kind of early pick, wants to go for that late round play instead as Kinguin start to worm their way out of underpass. Good flashbang. Will blind a couple of players, but the smokes are covering them up, so nothing found from it. Kinguin, a minute on the clock and still plenty of utility to work with. That's a bit of a run boost. Oh, I really like that as well. They don't risk spending time underneath the window, and they even get a kill off the back of it as well. Subrosa attracted to the player on the cross instead. He's going to get dropped, and that's a massive pick for Kinguin.
That was actually so crafty. I mean, your view model will bob up and down as you jump up into the window with a regular boost, so it's so nice that they went ahead and did it that way.
Yeah, I've not seen that before. So Kinguin bringing some ingenuity into this one. Now, Steele, he's on the site. He's going to be pressured from 2 angles. He can't finish off the kill. He's going to go down from the player pushing out of the palace, and now Wardell's going to hit his shot with the AWP. A wrap to the CT spawn, and a couple of players tagged up with only 15 seconds left. Kinguin only just getting the bomb down in time, and Kusta's too far away to stop this. Wardell's been shut out of the round, and now surely it's over for Kusta.
Yeah, rough spot to lose in this one. As we can see, the 2 players that are hurt were both tagged down by Steele, but it seemed like he turned away from the second frag, assuming that he actually finished it off. So, I don't know. The thing is about that, it's like, I never fault someone for doing that, because I have been in so many situations where, like, I think I got the kill for sure, you know, so I'm not going to spend more time than I need to, you know, shooting, right?
Especially when he'd already seen 2 different players, right?
Yeah.
Like, he knows he's being attacked from 2 angles. He needs to force a kill as soon as possible and then turn around.
Yeah, so, you know, not sure exactly what happens psychologically in that moment, but
it's the FAMAS, man.
It's at the end of the day, you're buying the French gun.
Oh, Kusta, he gave it a go. He went for that AWP. Knowing the value of it, of course, would rather have Wardell on that than him on a solo M4. And like these kind of rounds where you're not going to buy if you're Ghost, you'd much rather have a solo AWP than anything else.
Absolutely, yeah. Getting pistols in the solo AWP is just so powerful. I mean, the round is not over until it's over in that situation.
Ooh, Steele's gone for a scout with nothing else. A bit of utility, but he's low on money, and they should be buying up next round. So this is going to hurt him a little bit, but luckily the loss bonus is built up, and Kusta, he's actually opened up with that M4. So important to see him try and lead this charge on the CT side. Can be difficult to initiate and find those opening frags, especially when Kinguin are grouped up as they are. Heavy in middle, trade is found, and Kusta's going to rally back. Yeah,
he's got a lot of utility from this spot. The problem is that there's no one to support him from connector to draw attention away from him and to system out in and out. And Subrosa has pulled off a flank with an AK to top mid, not only killing one on Cat, but alarming the terrorists, and Malzino winning a straight-up honest duel against Kusta. That's not something you can lose in this situation.
Yeah, that's going to make things really difficult. If Ghost won that fight, maybe they can get this round, but now still Kinguin have 3 armed players, and 2 pistols left up on Ghost is going to hold them back. So Bros are wrapping back in through the ramp. Are they going to be ready for this? That's the question, because, well, no one's watching it. They're not open to it just yet, so they could be aware of the possibility. So Bros are taking his time, no rush, and I like how Kinguin has slowed down here. Again, it's similar to how they played in the connector just a few rounds ago. Just hold your ground, and Sub-Rose is going to catch them moving out of position. In the meantime, they've taken B, but this bomb's still stuck.
Yeah, so Crystal immediately realizes that there's a lot of presence now to A. The AK is over here, and tries to get in early, but Rallen also has already gotten the notice. It looks like Taz is actually just going to go plant on the A site as he sees a CT leave.
Oh, they have no idea. They're going to think it's a B play.
No,
they're still hunting after the B site because they've seen Rallen and they have no idea where Taz is. He let them pass. He even let a second man fall out of the connector, and with Rallen getting this kill, that only further reaffirms that this is a B site play. Ghost have not realized just yet, and I think Wardell, it's finally clicked.
Yeah, he's a little bit confused at the moment. It's probably a little bit difficult to discern where the bomb is coming from, just being in the middle of both things. Now seeing the open plant there, knowing that there's one on the B site. Oh my goodness, there is a weird chance, a weird small chance that he actually pulls this off, but no. Just with the last few bullets of his spray, time taking down. Taz finishes him off. And no, we got Taz here in Hong Kong too.
We saw them on the first day a little bit.
You can't run from the dab.
Hey, maybe that's the new bomb tick sound coming back to help Wardell.
That's true,
maybe that's what made him realize after all.
Yeah. That definitely could be it.
That's always a kick in the teeth, though.
Kick in the teeth for sure. It's never fun. That is such a graphic image, Hugo.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
It's better than a curb stomp.
That's true. I have seen that in real life, but we won't go into details.
Double AWP up for Ghost as well in this round. Oh, Wardell was not ready for that. They've already walked out of middle, and so is Sabrosa. So aggressive and so prolific. He's going to find himself one. Molotov to try and shield his escape, but it goes out in the smoke, and Kinguin won't chase. Instead, Crystal moves in. Got to be very careful considering how close they are in middle, but Kusa's taking the attention, and Sabrosa's doing the damage. Crystal's not even needed.
Yeah. No, that was like the WWE. You got one player on the top ropes, right? You've got another ready to tag team in, and one shoots, the other one finishes it off. And
I love your analogies.
It's great. No, that's kind of how we saw all of the kills from MIBR go, where no one was taking damage.
It's really nice to see this set up on the A site, though, because Ghost, if you remember, just round prior, they actually brought up that one scout on Steel, which is why he was on an MP7 here. So, because he was on an MP7, he plays that solo sandwich position, and the rest of his team just focus on taking mid control with the rifles, opening up space for Steel to just not have to worry. So, nice to see that from Ghost. It may be enough for a round here, and they've still got the 2 AWPs held on. Taz is all that stands here for Kinguin, and with 30 seconds left and 4 players basically on the site is a little bit too much to ask for.
Yeah, looks like he's actually trying to delay. We have a drop of a player right now, so we don't know exactly what went down. Hopefully not long of a pause, and Steel, just one clean bullet to the face. Ghost retained 4, which is nice for their economy. They're still going to be on a tipping point where they can be reset. And I think, mentally, I'd be a little bit tilted if I were Ghost, which is how these early rounds have gone. But that was a nice one. That was a nice one to talk about.
It's good to see players not overstay their welcome as well, right? We're seeing
Sabrosa,
attention taken by one player and then another player pushing. Sabrosa gets a kill on mid. Suddenly, Sabrosa falls back. Crystal pushes in instead. Kusta gets a kill. Crystal takes a shot, falls back. It's not like we're seeing one player try and focus on getting 3 frags. It's 3 players focusing on getting 1 frag each, while the attention of Kinguin is diverted to the last player who shot.
The discipline is great, and I think that's what the great things about having someone like Steel as an IGL is, because he's always going to tell you exactly what he thinks. No matter what. And I think that with Sabrosa, he is a really nice kid who I think will absorb a lot of the information that people give him, and I feel like Steel and him are a good combo. I think in the past, Sabrosa's problem's never been his aim. His mechanics are absolutely unbelievable, honestly. Their shrouds here are insane. I mean, I used to play against him in main, and he would just be death matching and aimbotting for 4 hours a day, almost every single day. So it's something that he just really enjoys, the movement and the aim. And it's really, I think, been about trying to visually map out where you feel like players are. That has been his weakness. And I think that with some direction, some tips about discipline, as all mechanically gifted players need, he can perform a lot better. And we're seeing some of that discipline here in this match.
It's always a nice change, welcome change. We have got Kinguin going for a bit of a faster A approach. That Molotov perfectly timed, but Sabrosa only gets 1 before Taz fires back. Wardell now on the cross, and with the last smoke of Kinguin going down, they've now got to focus on actually just walking up, but Taz cannot get that far. Wardell shut it down, and this double AWP setup has just been lethal so far. Both him and Kusta finding a kill and dropping the bomb in the open.
Yeah, with no utility, this is absolutely not a site that you want to go to, though. Manise does find an AWP kill from Connector. It's a rotator, though. It's not one of the most important players to defend against this site. Wardell and Kusta still remain. They've got a big flank to close it off. They're not going to fall for a fallback to B.
Oh, Manise, the barrel of the gun might give it away, and Wardell too quick on the trigger. It is just Rylan left up, and he knows his man in CT spawn, but does he know that Wardell is creeping in from behind, as is Steel? This timing is about to be miraculous unless Rylan checks it, and that's a no. Steel finds a kill, and Ghost, yeah, again, it's such a team game right now. No one's going and getting more than 2 kills around. Everyone is putting in the damage, and 3 rounds on the board. Still Kinguin in the lead, but the money is definitely going to be the problem now.
Yeah, they've clearly got a game plan. And Kinguin cannot rest on their laurels with this 5 rounds. They've got to make more happen in this half. It's not going to happen here, though. I think it's UMP buy-up for Mouse. I feel like a couple players are a little bit low.
Yeah,
but
I feel like it's a misbuy.
Yeah, it looks like they've spent some more money than they can afford.
You never know whether that's purpose or a misbuy. That's one of the not problems, but annoyances here. I don't know if they're just going to hope he gets an entry kill hit.
Yeah, it's a strange weapon to
Yeah.
It's almost a challenge, right?
It doesn't seem
playing
like
gauntlet with your
a good idea.
teammates. That was a quick shot.
We got a bait set up as well. Kusa's drawing in the attention. They're not going to check this corner because Crystal's hiding now in wait. One frag, UMP dropped, and Kusa's got his back covered for a second, and a third, and a fourth. Kusa, old school.
Coldzera without jumping.
Well, he's 12-5 right now, so maybe feeling like Coldzera.
Yeah, it's definitely looking sharp, and we see the variations of the setup. Crystal was the one player who pushed off of Cat. This is clearly an anti-eco setup where you're more worried about sites. Typically, you go for mid control when you know a team is going to expend a lot of utility and always end up taking mid successfully as a terrorist. You don't want to let them feel comfortable doing that on CT side, but on the anti-ecos, you just want to deny the plans.
Fast play up short though. Kinguin going for this quick B execute to split onto the site, and Crystal's going to get completely caught off guard, blindsided by the leader of the Polish squad. And although the trade is there, Kusta is now alone and he needs support quickly. Apparently, maybe even not. He's found himself a second frag off that AWP. And even though there's more players up in the apartments as well, Ghost are even in position to try and help him out. The only problem is Rallen has just crept in. He can't cross the market window here, so he's got to get this kill, but he's given away his position. You hate to see it. Molly burns him out. Rallen's found it, and now the site is Kinguin's, but Ghost are close by. Rallen's not going to be letting them walk in, and Steel moving on his own is a bit of a dangerous one, because that's not tradable. His teammate wasn't ready for that one, so Sub Rosa really is the man to put up the damage here, or at least he has to, because Wardell's on the AWP. Creeping in.
Oh, he's got a hint. Ooh, choosing to go out the window might circumvent this operation as he creeps up on the one player at the van. Now it's Wardell, 1v1.
Oh, he's already found him in the corner. He misses the opening shot in the dig, going for the close-up shot, and he lands it. 2 to the chest and 5 on the board. Ghost are going to win the round. Fantastic delay play from Kusta at the back of the site.
Yeah, the flank was absolutely terrifying as well. An early big flank from the underpass is perfect to stop a B hit. It seemed like with that opening kill on Crystal, caught him completely off guard.
Yeah.
Kinguin actually had something going, like they picked a really fast round to start things off. And if you get a team used to, and it's not kind of a separate point that if you're just someone who watches the game, doesn't play it a lot, it's something that you you definitely want to think about, is that if you have a team used to giving 20-30 seconds where they just talk to each other, get set up in CT side, talk about their setups and stuff, a rush can be very strong, right? There's a huge thing in B, for example, is walking past get right, that pillar area towards Cat, and then listening for a Halls rush and having everyone be silent for those moments so you can make sure that you can call it for your teammates. Now, if you have let them think that you're going to be a slow T side for like 5 rounds straight, and then you suddenly run up Cat, it's going to feel like you're moving at like 300 units per second, right? I mean, Taz was up there before Crystal was even considered that he couldn't pull out a grenade.
Ooh, Wardell, he's moving at quite a few units because he's already found himself in bottom middle, jumped out through the window. Kinguin again, they've been so heavy on this early mid control, and Wardell won't be able to open up this time. Gonna miss the flick shot and probably shouldn't give it another go from that position, but nice nade. Ghosts have been really good at utility so far this event. That's one thing to note, especially on Inferno against Optic. Every single round they were starting off completely bullying. When Optic were on that CT side, we were just seeing that heavy banana control. Molotovs up, config was always tagged, and that was really nice to see. So Ghost being refreshing in that sense.
Oh, good damage dealt. Sproza again, once again being very careful as the connector player. It's a high frag position, that's why I have someone so mechanically gifted in that spot. Crystal getting punished just by that short peek from Taz. Head popping up, but Soroza answers back.
Yeah, and that's actually a player with full health as well. So Rallen, who was tagged up earlier on, is still on the field. That's always nice for Ghost. Makes things a little bit easier, even if they don't know it just yet. But Kinguin, they want to at least push up towards this A bomb site. They still have this man up in the palace as well, so Kusta's timing on the short peak, if he goes for it, could be very, very good, because they're crossing to triple, checking all the back of the site. They know that Ghost have been playing aggressively, and Steel, Sub Rose has done exactly that. Unfortunately, not going to be able to kill. And Steel, he's going to be the one behind enemy lines, pushed into the ramp. The question is, do they expect it? Nice shot from Wardell. Another retake really is on. He's found a second. Meniz is up close, and Steel's not even needed deep on ramp. It is just Reeds. Bombs open for him, but there's a man posted just falling off the top of the ticket booth, and they haven't seen him. They have no idea. He goes for it, but Steel's there, and they were already on the bomb anyway, so it was null and void. Ghosts are going to win the retake, and with 3 alive.
That was extremely well played, and there was a lot of spots in that round where it could have gone the other way. It's good good response from Sabrosa and Connector to get that extra damage in, played it carefully once again. And I think the thing that's now starting to become apparent with Ghost is that they are taking every opportunity possible to push for information, right?
Yeah.
They're already up in A ramp with Sabrosa, close A ramps, and Steel can watch for anybody who's coming for a late split. In previous rounds, they're going for the big flank and B apps. It's consistently happening where they're getting information whenever possible.
A lot of that is while Kinguin have been playing slow T-side rounds, they've not been exactly establishing defaults. They've been very heavy on, for example, the early mid control and just putting 4 or 5 players there. So Ghost realizes that empty parts of the map that they can push up, they can take short, they can push into ramp. However, not this time. Taz is there, and Kinguin are looking to go for this quick connect to split with the bomb. Dangerous to send it in through middle, but at least it's with the majority of the players. Will Crystal allow it to pass? Apparently, yes. He misses the opening shot, and that's even a follow-up on 12 HP. Miles finds 2.
2 kills that definitely could not have gone, or might not have gone his way in a universe very close to ours. So they've got to take this advantage, cherish it, and run with it. They've got now. They're doing the smart thing, grouping up, leaving a one person in with retention of a very important part of the map. He's actually congregating with them towards B. I think they see that all they need to do now is trade. Mauzino is quite low. Fortunately, can't bleed out, but Kusa, after seeing the flash, has a couple people crossing. Opportunities lost.
Can't even catch 1 kill here. He needed that. He needed every single shot he can land because Kinguin have 2 players above Ghost. He might even just forfeit this one and go for the save because even risking giving away this AWP can be quite detrimental to the Ghost economy when it comes to a couple of rounds time. 3 players here on $2,000 to $3,000, so it's not like Ghost are balling. They could definitely do with this cash. Nice little boost up above the market as well to try and get an angle onto short, but they're only looking for exits here. They do have to be careful that Kinguin don't send players chasing inside the market. Yes, they haven't quite built up a T-side economy, but it's very possible they could hunt.
Yeah, you have a great point, Hugo. I mean, this should be priority number 1 at this point. They're not going to win the rounds. They might get a kill, but it's more worthwhile that they stay alive, and that's why they need to make sure that they not only don't die to the bomb, that they... They're actually doing a great job of holding players up in the halls right now. Good damage dealt as well. Pressure to move forward. And the bomb almost finishing everyone off. Steel playing that wonderfully.
See, okay, while it's great to save, that's worth it. 3 kills for 1,
yeah,
that's definitely a good trade. Look at Kinguin's money. They have to rebuy, and it means that because Steel gets those 3 kills, is if Ghost come back in and reset this round, Kinguin are straight to eco or a force buy. They don't have rifles, all because of Steel's kills.
Yeah, absolutely. 6-6. Tied, almost tied. I mean, this is as tight as it gets. I mean, we had a really strong start for Kinguin, and it seemed like Ghosts were about to fall apart right from the jump. I mean, I really had almost completely lost faith in just their game today, but they seem to be back on the horse in a good way. I don't know if that's actually got a negative connotation, but we won't get into that.
Well, they are riding Kinguin right now, and Steel's pushed up down on ramp. He has no support from the AWP. Wardell's fallen back, and this is not an AWPing position if you didn't know it. So Wardell, he's quick to fall down. Again, another 5v3. Kinguin doing fantastic work of not losing any players here. And again, Ghost fighting a massively uphill battle. So uphill they've gone for the boost, but it is going to work out for 1 kill. Crystal's found a player at the edge of the smoke, and Ghost now have an opportunity because the bomb isn't yet down.
This is such a big mistake. Kinguin had the smokes up. They had the 2 kills on the site. Why did they not plant? There was always an option. There was the front of triple, the opposite default, or just straight up default. And now they have to wait for Ghost to make a mistake. Yeah, and as they spend more time, we've got a big flank coming out. Sabrosa's making his way around, and they know that they don't have to fall back now, which is something that they fell for in the past.
Crystal is Barrow may give away his position, but Kusa's got the catch, at least on the player on the site. Crystal stops Taz from climbing up the stairs, and all in the meantime, as you said, Sabrosa is sneaking in from behind, blade in his hand, looking to backstab, even though the bomb's down. This is not a problem for Sabrosa. Another frag, and it is just left to Rallen. A 1v3 clutch, he's given away his position. He does have a free kill, and Sabrosa's low. There's a chance for Rallen. He's turned it into a 1v1. It's the AWP left up, but Kusa's too quick. And Ghost have done it. It may have come down to the wire, but they pick it up and find the reset.
There was obviously a world where Kinguin can win that round and make it look decisive, but without the bomb going down, there's no pressure on, and there's no onus for the CTs to do something hasty. They can kind of sit back, relax, and wait for the smokes to like work for them, right? Once they're gone, I mean.
Yeah, and that's how they get 2 kills on the cross before the bomb even goes down, right? It goes from a 4-on-3 to a 2-on-3, and then the bomb gets planted. Plant first, kill after.
Plant first, kill after. No, sage advice. And hopefully they, and it's weird because they had the tempo at such a high pace, right? They came out running out A through the smokes on the go, and then just puttered to a halt before the round even begun.
Well, it's come back to haunt them. Those 3 frags found from Steel just 2 rounds prior have done damage to Kinguin's economy. It's an AK, double Galil, double CZ, and desperation now for the Polish squad. They're going to go again for A, this time a little bit slower. Smoke to keep Steel in this corner also means he can hide if they molly the back of triple, and he doesn't have to worry about being too open. He's even going to call in for his teammates as well, because they've realized it's a push coming through. Great angle from Steel. He's found one, but Taz has gotten up close, and Rose has dropped in the meantime. Ghost now back into a 3-on-3 with guns in the air, but Crystal's going to spray it down too, even dropping the bomb.
Wonderful timing. A little bit of patience there in CT spawn, and that allowed him to get 2 kills. And one player with their hands busy in the middle of an animation cannot help out the guy who is supposed to be covering CT. And that allows this round to fall apart for Kinguin. I'm loving these smokes that Steel is throwing at defensively instead of using them to, smoke out the typical choke points, right? Nothing going in Palace, nothing to A ramp. He's just using it to defend for himself under balcony by triple, and triple is a spot. And we are in the 1v2. Reeds could have a chance here. Great first headshot to kick things off, and it's a total reset as Kinguin now look for the opportunity to make it 7-7. Reeds can look for the plant.
15 seconds, he's either got to fake it out or go for it right now. He'll stick it, not expecting Kusta to push too heavily, so now he's been given another opportunity. That smoke's almost faded. He could find the angle. I don't know if Kusta watched the cross, but he saw the leg, he saw the foot, and Kusta again, 2 rounds in a row, the same position, he finds the clutch.
And this is really a game, I mean, you play a lot of Overwatch, right?
Yeah.
You don't really see like these slow pixel creep outs in games like that, right? This is one of the only games you can play with that little bit of visual data and actually hit a shot for a kill.
That's really scary as well, to be fair, from Ghost side, because Kinguin now 2 rounds in a row have had a player in a 1-on-3, gotten the first 2, and then Kusta saved them. So look at him, 18-6, top of the scoreboard. He was the one dropping 32 frags on Nuke yesterday against Optic. He wants to be in this grand final.
It certainly seems that way. Now Sabrosa here to support his teammate. So we move into the 15th round of the half.
Ooh, Steel. Same smoke down as well, this time in MP7. That's the problem. He doesn't quite have the range of the M4. Molotov is going to make him at least reposition, but Maniz is already up by close. Again, the smoke wall over on the A bomb site gives Kinguin the chance to plant, and good to see them actually get the bomb down pretty swiftly as well. Kusta trying to rotate. I think he's aware of the fact that someone's deep in the CT spawn here. But the problem is, the second he takes that kill, he's going to get repeat from 2 more players on his left side. So flash over won't work, but he still gets the frag, and there's the trade. Luckily enough, Subrose is there, but 2 more players to push for Kinguin. This keeps them in the man advantage, and this keeps them in with a chance. Taz has just made it a reality. It's just Wardell left up, and the time is surely too low.
And that's so much more well played. It was like the last round, except they were smart about getting the bomb down on time and pushing into CT spawn. That really puts the CTs on the back foot and forces them to force a reaction, and that's what they got, making it a nice cleanup there to close out the half. Actually, numerically losing, surprising, because they started off with 5.
I'm just not going to say it.
That's awesome. You can't. It's like, we won the last major. All right, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I like the Taz is better than VP sign. That's quite funny.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty equal though. 8-7 scoreline. I mean, it's coming down to the wire here in the first half, and considering these 2 teams are pretty neck and neck, I'm liking this so far. So quick break in between halves, and then we're going to see who finds that pistol round to set them up for some success.
No, it looks like it's going to be a really, really close match all the way through for sure. Mirage is definitely the best playground for it, where everybody knows how to play this map, and it's interesting to see new stuff coming out from both sides.
Yeah, that run boost on underpass to window, never seen that.
Never seen that.
That smoke from Steel, I've not seen that specific smoke, but I like the way he's been doing them. Yeah,
because that's a very fallible spot to play behind the triple, where you can get spammed down quite easily, and it makes it a little bit of a makes you a little bit of a liability. It makes you a little bit of a liability, and using the smoke, it kind of guises the amount of angles that you can play. One of those being the left side of the smoke, the right side of the smoke, and now also the triple box. Ooh, sorry for a second. I think we're missing game sound, but we got it back.
It's sorted, yeah. Well, a man advantage for Kinguin in the pistol. It's a player down mid drop, so it is going to be that late B play. They're actually sneaking through. I don't think they want to make any noise, but now they've eventually got to as they cross past the windows. Kinguin have the sight lines. Mouse now knows there's at least one player there, but he hasn't spotted any more, so Kinguin aren't going to have too heavily rotate. This is an awkward fight to be taking for the T's because Glock's not known for their range. Crystal's up in the window as well, and Mouse gets dinked down on B as Taz goes down in the jungle. Nice shots from Mouse. Oh dear, he is just locking it down.
There's not much you can do about that, is there?
No. Good night.
Yeah. This is the NyQuil bullets.
Popping some melatonin.
Get a nice round's rest. Yeah, melatonin's always good. Did you use melatonin? As travelers, we've got to fall back on something.
I do indeed. Yeah. Especially when coming to Hong Kong. Got to sleep on that plane.
Absolutely. And for those who don't know, just a natural way to get back to circulating the rhythm. But we got this full-on Grok rush into B. Oh, look at that nade damage. Every health bar totally red.
Filth.
Yikes.
What were you saying? A natural way to...
Natural way to realign your circadian. Can you use the line in that way? Align your circadian rhythm.
I don't know what that means.
Where it helps you it helps your body kind of reacclimate to acclimate is I don't even know the words I'm using.
Yeah,
get used to different time zones where the sun goes down at different times, basically.
Okay, you can explain that more later because right now we have Kinguin on a heavy mid rush. They're up against a buy. Ghost ecoed that second round. We saw this on Overpass yesterday. They didn't get a bomb down, but they full glocked the second round, only to buy up the third. I'm personally not a fan, but Crystal certainly is. Quick dig on that A site. Unfortunately, it might all be for nothing. Maniz has snuck in through that CT spawn smoke, and he is just going to have the backstab. There it is. What do you think of rounds like that? Because Ghost has now done that twice on the T side. They lose pistol, they don't get a bomb down, but they fully go second round and buy up Galil's in third. I know we've already had this discussion. Galil's are trash. What are your thoughts?
Galil's are trash. We talked about this. What do you think, Launders? I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're buns. I think they're cheeks. I think they're ass. I hate Galil's.
So I'm guessing you don't like the buy.
No, I'm not into it. I think there's maybe I don't know what the time and place is for Galil. I really just nobody's clipping your Galil 4K. You know,
no.
Nobody's clipping your Galil 4K.
And even if they are, it looks trash.
It looks trash.
It looks.
Exactly.
Oh dear.
Don't bother.
Just buy a Deagle, dude.
Exactly. $700.
Kapow. And Ghost. This is kind of a bit of a trap they got into yesterday. Luckily, they won their game, but they went for a lot of force buys. In Overpass, with the game they lost, these force buys just didn't work out. So yeah, it's great when they work out. It can really, turn yourself back from a 10-8 scoreline like this, but it can also dig you a massive hole of debt and loss. But a push anyway. Let's see what they can get done with it. Crystal, as the smoke blooms, goes for the peak, and that's not going to work out. Neither will Steal in the spawn, but Kusta digging through the box. Big boy plays. The Galil on Maniz might not be enough, and I'm glad it isn't because that gun is trash. Wardell trades right back, and the bomb can go down on the site. There's an opportunity here for Ghost, but this flank makes matters worse.
Yeah, it definitely gets hairy in this situation. I don't know if they'll be cognizant of it, though. With that kill going down, they might have a tip to look back, but they're not going to expect Rallin. However, Wardell, for whatever reason, decide to peek back to triple. Saw one crossing default and is now smoking to be able to make it seem like he's going B. It's not going to work in his favor. He's going to hear the footsteps. Small chance. He's going to hit the headshot. Insta dink. And Wardell cleans up the round.
4 kills.
He baited that rotate.
That was so sick, yeah. Throwing the smoke, it gives the illusion that he's covering the window room to try and push up into that B site. The player up in the CT spawn starts running because he thinks that Wardell's just going for a race towards B.
People's creativity, and it's a very simple play, but people's creativity in these 1v1s never ceases to amaze me. The way that you can influence players in situations where you have no chance in hell in winning an honest duel. 8 HP, you've got to get tricky.
And even though Wardell's low there, because he can hear the footsteps, he's ready to pre-fire that shot. He's ready to take that battle, whereas the CT has no idea there's someone there. As far as he's aware, he's in B. So yeah, a very nice force buy from Ghost. I mean, all down to one player, but it is going to be enough to win the round. Wardell, again, shining.
It's actually all that matters at this moment. That Akusta decided to buy up a MAC-10 in this situation, and everybody on Kinguin has head armor, I believe. Yeah. So it's not. I don't think it's just totally warranted, considering Ghost won that round. I think if they win, the spoils are that they have so much more to work with. They also might have favored utility over getting a good gun. So actively just said, hey, MAC-10s are great. Let's just focus on utility.
It's weird seeing them run a default with this buy, right?
Yeah.
We don't have a single gun on Ghost side apart from the AWP that can one-shot headshot.
Yeah, yeah. And that's where at least since, defaulting with great guns doesn't work without utility, maybe there's a world where at least if you have utility, you can start to take map control. But again, this is a sticky round no matter how you slice it.
Well, Crystal's looking for a bit of a distraction play on A. The positive is if Ghosts hold their angles and Kinguin push up, they can upgrade these SMGs into rifles. The problem is Crystal's dead. No rotation, none needed for the side of Kinguin. We've got a bit of a boost back on bench. Nice angle for Rallen. He will catch Sub-Rosa off guard, and that's just a free kill taken. Even a second from Mouse, who drops Steel up in middle as well. 15 seconds for Ghost to try and get this bomb plant or get 5 kills, and I think it's got to be the former, but what Rallen will not allow it. He is just hiding in the back of the site, sneaking on in. 6 seconds, this kill's going to do it, but Wardell's covered his teammate. The bomb's down. There's a player pushed up on short, and Kusta doesn't realize, but I think Wardell's heard the scope. They've even spotted a player further back. 2 out of 3 of them given away to Ghost, but the frag is there for Kinguin. It's just Wardell, and we've seen him do this before. AWP in his hand, back of the apps, and the bomb planted for him. He predicts the next shot, but he can't land it, and he even hears the footsteps. Wardell! It's a 1v1, and he's 1 kill away from the 4K, and dragging Ghost through this to equal up the scoreline. Deagle out, shot tag. But Meniz, he's realized there's no time, it's over. Wardell's done it. 2 clutches in a row, Launders.
Fantastically, yeah, 2 clutches in a row. Back to back, Wardell looking smarter as hell. Oh my God, that's some clean counter strike from him. And it was a situation with the bomb down that Rallen decided to make a big rotate around the site, got him killed. Wardell was aware enough to be able to hit that shot. I mean, maybe there's a world where he misses it. That probably was a hard one in and of itself.
I'd love to see that kill. I mean, especially at no scope again. Like,
yeah.
Dear, oh dear. Kinguin calling a pause. No surprise. Look at that money, Launders.
Yeah, Kinguin always call pauses when the commentators and audience need one. It's basically
well timed,
they basically use them to just to relax. They definitely have their game plan sorted out. They just need to mentally calm down a bit, and it's totally understandable. Ice the kicker, as it were.
What have they done with this buy now? They haven't actually invested, surprisingly enough. So we've got the most 4C team in the event, and team play taking some standard ecos. Kinguin running with a solo AWP, which certainly is good on the CT side. Let's see if it can find anything. That's a molly already.
Yeah. So yeah. That's a situation where you see a lot of teams they do not go for the dry peek like that, but there's not a lot of utility to help them. So sometimes they'll go out for the peak and somebody behind them will throw the smoke down so they don't waste any time, or they'll throw one themselves and then jump out to the bottom of connector and just hold that angle for a while. The Plume putting out the Molotov, however, is a tell for anybody at top mid. And in this situation, it's kind of a feign from the terrorists as they decide to throw the top cat smoke and put pressure on connector, but not actually have anyone cross.
Well, early default for Ghost, now settled back into what looks like an A plate. They're going to be splitting mid with Steel coming in through the top and Sub-Rosa underpass. Whereas the rest of Ghost, hopefully not dry walk out of round. Not against pistols, that would be a bit worrying, but Az is up close, not for long.
All right, dude.
Free haircut, he's already got no hair, but...
That's why it's so good.
Yeah, streamlined.
Yeah.
That's an entry though for Ghost, and they can take their time. They don't have to rush. 40 seconds on the clock. They're pretty close up to A, and they're waiting for Steel to get in position. Kinguin don't have any mid control because again they are only on pistols. They don't have that range. Double peek out through ramp. This is a dry play, but it might be fine as long as Steel can kind of pick up these rotations out of the jungle. He's worked his way in the connector. Reitz is here under balcony. Now he's going to strike. That's the bomb, but he's not going to get the kill. Steel's shut down that rotate, and Kusa's doubled opened. It's just the AWP left, and Steel. Good night.
Yeah.
Steel's been using so many SMGs this event.
That's true. I mean, and it's gonna do wonders. I mean, something that you don't think about when watching the game, or even just like commentating, is just like the effect of how much money is retained and earned from SMG kills. And how much of an effect that has on a total half. That's something you really have to like sit back, grab your favorite nerd, and really just crunch the numbers to get any answers on that. But I'm sure if you look more in depth into them, and there's definitely a lot of great services actually for CSGO made from very talented and smart nerds out there that can really tell you a lot more about the variable impact of deciding to go for SMGs and the risk that it incurs versus having a rifle on a round where it's like, you know, you're going up against rifles, and you're seeing Ghost in some of these rounds take the risk of buying an SMG even though it's a full buy for the other team.
What's a sneak playing to be this time for Ghost? Kinguin, none the wiser. No utility for this as well, so they've just got to take the gun battles. And actually, this is a bit of a dangerous one because no one's even close for a rotate. They also don't have an AWP. 50 seconds on the clock. Ghost finally congregated here. They're just going to be molotoving off the balcony, spraying it away, making sure that no one's pushed up close.
I would like to definitely think about what Kusta, how he's going to play this. Is he going to push out first, or is he going to take his time and be used as a late flank? As somebody sitting here, he's working like a player in Squeaky and Cash, where he can take his time and decide to lurk out. Not many times in a half can you do that as a Palace player safely, but now he's really made things tricky for the CTs at A site, and Manise is trying to get frisky out at mid. Taz also pushed into an awkward position. It's actually right into the A split. That's exactly what they wanted to see.
Oh, Ghost, nice mid-round call to actually back off after finding that pick from Kusta, and I don't know how Steel wins his duel in middle with an MP7. Miles is now the last man up, and he is not far away from death. Ghost moving forward with 3 players, and again, when you already talked about the money you make off an SMG kill, not only that, but Steel's just bought an MP7, got a kill, upgraded to an M4
for
now
free.
That is economics,
yeah,
or maths, or something.
Yeah, no, you're definitely graduating top of your class.
Thank you.
Yeah, with that knowledge. And yeah, again, free M4.
12-10. This is was once out of control, is now completely pivoted. Ghost in the lead, and Kinguin down on pistols, so a 13th round seems to be, I don't want to say guaranteed, certainly not in the current state of this game, but pretty likely here for the side of Ghost. Riddell close on ramp. Oh, the fired shot missed with the AWP, but luckily Crystal has his back covered. That's very important because, again, while you're in that transition moment, that animation post-shooting the AWP, you are pretty susceptible to getting rushed, especially against pistols. They've grabbed a gun from middle, but with no armor to support it, we may just see a save, although Rallen is making a bit of a scene here, keeping things interesting. So is Manise. Somehow we're in a 2v2.
Mental reset here as they decide to cool it, go for an actual big flank to lock down CT, one of the harder positions to deal with in a post-plant situation.
Allen's gotten close. No one's watching. What are they doing? He gets the first kill. Luckily, Sub Rosa trades right back, but it's still come way too close for comfort considering they're only on pistols. He's sticking the bomb. He's sticking the bomb. 5 seconds left up. Sub Rosa can't find the angle. He has no idea he's on it. There's a full defuse about to come through, but Sub Rosa. How many rounds have Ghost saved from the back of the CT spawn? I don't even know. I
have no idea either, and it's actually a number of clutch rounds so far, and that is a round that probably shouldn't have gotten into a clutch situation.
No.
Not at all.
It was down to getting that one gun out of middle and then killing 2 players on A from connector.
Yeah, as easy as it gets, really. And at the end of the day, all that matters is that Ghosts are now up 13-10. One of the Kinguin's potential last buys in this first map, a map that could have definitely gone their way. It's safe to say that we are more than impressed with Ghost performing so far. Here on the big stage, the 3rd floor of the Hong Kong Convention Center.
Yeah, we've moved up. We've got a lot of fans here. We've got a lot of live viewers. We've got a fast B play for Crystal. He's just dived in. Nice shot with the SMG, but it's quickly traded. We still have Kinguin now with a very good chance. Double AWP up, a man advantage, and the B site still under control for the time being. No one's actually out yet for Ghost. They're not going to let them get out for free. Still gets a tag as he falls down. Kneecapped. Reitz is tagged as well because Kusta's somehow snuck himself up middle, but Steel, he snuck through the smoke and he's managed to take down another player as well. This is a big blunder from Kinguin because now they're left up with 2. Simultaneous kills for Ghost and another one to pile down to the head of Taz. It's every battle being won by the North Americans.
This is unreal. I mean, like, it's just all coming together. Like, they're all on different parts of a spider web and just in constant communication with what kind of opportunities they can muster up, and they're just capitalizing left, right, and center. The amount of flanks and just like late plays out in solo positions that we're seeing from Ghost is just really impressive, because I think it takes a certain amount of gravitas, you know, to do that versus a team with extremely decorated players on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of experience here. I mean, we don't just look to players like Taz. Like, look at Ralland. He's played in majors before. You know, this guy's got years of experience alongside him. But Kinguin, only 2 rounds away from being down on their map pick.
On their map pick. This is one of their last. I mean, that's it. Just look at the smiles on their faces.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a huge sigh of relief here as they understand that with Kinguin buying, they have to make the difficult decision as to whether or not they're going to go all in on this round, or they're going to play for OT. And it looks like they've decided to play for OT.
Yeah, I like this buy, though. They've half invested, so they do still have a very good chance of winning this round. Think about that one eco that they got even closer. So there's still a chance, but they've still saved some cash for the upcoming round if in case they do lose this one.
Nice what Josh just did right there, where he decided not to move his crosshair as soon as he got blind, right? Didn't freak out.
Yeah. Just continually tapping. That gun is irretrievable for now. I'd like to see Ghost shuffle it out of middle. Oh, steal. He's all the way down short. Got to be careful there. The CZ at close range is a darn beast, and Miles is going to be able to finish him off. So that's a big gun upgrade as well. Combined with the fact that Reitz has an M4, this is starting to look a little bit better for Kinguin, but it's not like we haven't seen Ghost bail themselves out of these man disadvantaged situations before. However, oh, no, we're back.
Oh, not the time or place.
Well, Miles is...
Are they going to forget about him? They are going to forget about it. Is he going to take his time? Is there the opportunity to get some cheeky CZ kills? The first one's good, but Sabrosa's aim is too great to not trade.
Talk about his mechanical skill, finding both frags. It's the Orb that's going to have the blunder in apartments. At least the bomb's on the site, but they've now got guns to play with. And I don't know if they spotted the second player as well, because Sabrosa's focusing on short. He doesn't know where man number 2 is. So there we... Wait, oh no. The molly spread.
Took an awkward step backwards. The molly might have gotten a little bit too much surface area.
And that's the value of half buying when you're against 14 rounds, right?
True, yeah.
You still have a very good chance
You
of
can
winning
still
the round.
win, yeah. And now, not only do they get the win bonus, but all the money they saved on top of that. Yeah, that's the value of the eco. So they've got the op, they've got money left over, they've got full nades. No excuse for not having nades. All the kits they need. And Ghost are fully aware of losing one of the prime opportunities to close this out. Bomb goes down. It's understood it's going to be an A play.
Oh no, Kusta, I can't believe they made that mistake, and it's going to come back to haunt them. They've already lost 2 players at the price of 1. Crystal's even tagged down to 2 HP, and the molly is going to separate Waddell from pushing out of Palace, so that only staggers his push from Ghost. Kinguin have gone for the boost, and that is just absolutely perfect. It's right on the bomb.
Yeah.
Miles isn't even going to commit to it. He just jiggle peeks.
Think about, and it looks like they're going to take a moment here. Think about the fact that if the bomb didn't go out first, they could play this round out slowly in the 3v4, not have given so much information, like this giant tell on where the bomb is. Like, all the CTs can congregate around this knowing that they have to recover it at some point. If they just had the bomb go out third instead, I mean, if someone died right away and they wanted to slow it down, they could do that, and the CTs couldn't just all camp out at A knowing that they don't have to move.
Yeah, I mean, they're aware they can be flanked, and they are being flanked by Crystal at least, especially Steel in middle, but it's at least they don't have to worry about the bomb suddenly going down in a panic retake. It's still theirs. Ghost have to play A now. They've run out of time. There's no way they're going to get the bomb and have a chance to rotate to B, so Kinguin have their forces ready and waiting. It's down to winning these duels now for Ghost. That's what they've got to do, but surely this is too much to ask for. And yeah, at least for Crystal, he's dead. Steel's not going to find a thing in the connector, and Waddell should probably just save. Look at the money.
Tactically, you could appreciate the adjustment, but it's just too obvious. I mean, you know, it's the only thing that they're going to pretty much try to do besides straight up force their way into A, and it's up to the CTs to kind of pick a position where they don't have to watch their back, where they can put their back against the wall and just hold the flank. And then on the one hand, they're listening for the plan on the A side. On the other, their eyes are focused on anybody that could try to sneak up on them, and that's it. CT favored.
Yeah, that's all down to going first with the bomb. Not a nice round to lose, and actually that's 2 in a row for Kinguin as well, with plenty of players surviving. This is how comebacks happen.
Yep.
This is not a done deal. This is not a one game for Ghost just yet, because now they have no money, right? No loss bonus for Waddell. He's got the Yorp, yes, but everyone else is on about $1,900 loss bonus. So that's it. They've got to eco this one. They could force, but that would, in my opinion, be a massive error.
Yeah, at least they don't have to like now force and then think about whether they have to play for OT or not. They'll still have one more buy to fend things off. But it's definitely a much worse situation. And you think about the round at 14-11, it's just like, oh, that not only is that a round that we lost, that it's just like numerically would have been nice to end it there. It's a round where the other team had pistols. Like, you definitely should have closed that out. It's not getting any easier.
Oh no, I had a feeling they'd do this.
Really?
Yeah, they keep doing it. They would have had a full by next
Oh,
round.
hold on. So loss bonus in 2 rounds.
That's 2 rounds now. It's going to be a third if they lose this. So I guess, no, actually, it's not too bad because they can buy around the AWP. They lose this, potentially. It's 13 for Kinguin. They take 1 eco, and then they actually have a better buy. So I guess you can, yeah, no, I take that back. You can make an argument for it. Only due to the AWP, though. You don't have the AWP, you don't buy this.
Yeah,
so, yeah, it's not the worst.
We'll certainly find out how it plays out exactly. Low chance of completely winning this round, but a ton of information gained and map control taken so early on. Wardell opening op kill window has been compromised for the CTs, and now they're panicking and scrambling.
Yeah, 4 on 4. This bomb's even gone down. How have Ghost got that one out of the bag? There's still a man in the CT spawn. It's all down to this duel. If Ghost get control of CT, that only makes it harder for Kinguin to retake because there's so many more positions that they have control of. Crossfires over that bomb. They did definitely just spot Taz, but he got away without getting tagged. So sneaking on in, it's Sub Rosa on the flank instead. And even though Kus is dead in the spawn, they might still have an opportunity. Ghost can creep in from behind. Taz not going to get tagged up. It's actually going to be knees going down. Mauser suddenly found 2 kills out of nowhere, and Sub Rosa, he's tapping. He stopped the bomb. That might have just been it. 1 kill could have just changed the entire round, and it is their time. Just.
Oh. In the last moment. That was almost super well done. That was almost a Kusa moment where they flubbed the defuse. They couldn't figure out who had the kit.
That'd be another round from CT spawn for Ghost.
Yeah.
Oh, that came way too close.
Yikes.
Kinguin going for the retake setup, and I mean,
what happened there though?
Yeah,
how does window get taken so easily? Why does the bomb go down? I'm sure the B players were just wondering, what are you guys doing on A right now?
Wardell got the mid pick. They rushed up short as well, and although they lost a man there, the short player got cut off by a smoke, so he can't see connector. He also can't push out to see window because it's too much of a risk. So that's how Crystal gets in window. But I don't know why no one's on A. You don't know,
yeah, no one's on A. And if you're playing a retake setup, you always retain CT control. You don't just give that up. That's like the prime place for the T's to push in. Yeah.
Taz had CT at least.
Yeah, he was far back though.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean they could want to hold around the smoke. I think he was definitely in danger.
Oh no, this could all fall apart for Ghost. Kinguin pulling it out where it really matters. Deep mid smoke, but Taz has pushed ahead of it, and he's going to catch off Steel. Even a fast B play for Ghost. They're running through Molotovs. They don't give a damn, but they should probably give a damn because they're about to be completely mowed down. Kinguin have 2 players up on short and even a third coming in through the market. Pistol's doing a lot of dink damage, but how many kills will it convert to? Only 2 so far, and the trade is already in sight. Sub Rosa too far away from a weapon, so he's going to try and close the distance, but these reloads are so long with the CZ. It allows the CTs to get into position, and there it is. 14 rounds to Kinguin. It's all on this buy.
Doesn't get much closer than this. This is it. Last 2 rounds, potentially. There's definitely a world when you see a score like this that it does go to OT. So
the only issue is that Kinguin are going to have money for the rest of regulation.
Right.
Whereas Ghost, they lose this and they probably lose the game.
Right. So there may be small advantage here to Kinguin. It's going to be a harder road to win these 2 rounds, which is such a turn of events considering the path to getting here. Fighting back against the dominant scoreline, taking that lead in the late in the second half. Now they're working on a default heavy underpass. Smoke into the window. They're trying to take control of things, and Kinguin have been pushed back even in this last round versus an eco, so you can see why they're tempted.
Oh, we've not seen this position before. Reach to the back box. That could certainly be a bit of a spanner in round number 29. Ghost have to remain very, very cautious. No one wants to be that first man to give away the initial kill.
I like how Kinguin are actually playing this, even though they are playing relatively passive. They're waiting for 1 kill before everybody pounces, and they're not giving up a certain amount of information. So it seems a little bit more reliable of a way to defend against mid presence.
And the mid presence is working out for Kinguin right now. Miles has just finished off steal, and while Wardell has traded, getting a player in the window, that actually opens up the option for a boost. Ghost have been quite consistent with boosting up players in that position, but instead they're going to back off, and this could be a late round B play. Goose is drawn off the A site, and the bomb's going in through apartments.
Nice line of sight all the way to the back of the garbages. Early kill. Zabroza goes down quick and easy. Wardell immediately looks for information. They know the trade has come out, but there's only 15 seconds left. Initial frag goes the way of Crystal. Trades on the A site go down. Manise now hears the rush towards B. Shot goes off, but it doesn't complete. 8 seconds up, they've got a plant. They now have an opportunity to do it. Kusta also trades. Bomb gets denied in 15 rounds to Kinguin. They're taking it to the 30th, and they have the chance to win.
4 kills from Miles. 4 kills on that B bomb site. Ghost didn't have a chance. The time was the biggest problem as well. They had to force that plant, and there were already 2 players on the bomb site for Kinguin. Without 2 players being there, or with more time, maybe Ghost have the chance, but this is all falling apart for them. Kinguin on their map pick, they want to go the distance. 16 rounds is the aim, and they got everything leaning in their favor. Ghost on an eco, or a force buy, of course, but nice nade usage. Oh, great nade usage. Big kill into Sub-Rosa. These last few rounds, Kinguin have consistently been taking that man advantage.
I love that they're using those 2 grenades to just make sure they deny any early aggression, right? Just decentivize a quick pace to start things off. No rushes come out. Crystal's now made his way through, and a blind CT gets killed on the site. Very important player, Mauzino, leaving only Rowland to defend against the split.
But he has shut down the short play. It's just the players on the site now to get the job done, and they don't exactly have the range to go for this. An M4 upgraded to Wardell, but a cross is going to get tagged. Crystal does get aggressive, and that's his weapon of choice, or at least his ex-weapon of choice. The AWP and the post plant could be all that Ghost need to win this round, but Rowland is still being a nuisance from short. Second kill come through, and the CT push from the last 2 players as well of Kinguin. Crystal's up close, and he's done it. One more shot needed if he wants to try and drag this forward, but Reeds has landed a shot. Crystal in the 1v1. He needs the ace to pull overtime. He needs the ace to save Ghost, but he's being wrapped, and it's just not going to happen. Rowland's done it. 3 kills, and Kinguin find the round.
What an attempt. What an attempt, but what a victory from Kinguin. Man, they were so close to defeat. 14-11 for Ghost. They're going to be tilted.
That's so upsetting as well. And Crystal, I mean, 4 kills in the final round. He knew where that last player was. Rowland had previously got 2 kills from short, and then made the window jump back into the CT's, back into the window to wrap market instead. So Crystal, he thought he knew, but he was too far away.
Used the information that he had. Yeah. And certainly, you know, the internal clock starts to factor in these bigger flanks that could potentially come out later, but they don't have that. And now it's just a 1-map advantage for Kinguin. They won the map they picked. It didn't look like it was the map they picked, very late into that game, but now it's a sigh of relief for them. They could take that and reset.
Yeah, and hey, there's worse ways to lose a game. A 16-14, yes, that's going to be hard, and yes, you've got to bounce back from that, but at least it was a fair battle. You know, Ghost definitely put up a fight, so all things considered, now moving forward over to Nuke, Ghost's pick, I still think there's a very good chance we could see a 3-mapper.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Well, either way, I think that's all that done for now. We do have that second map pick coming up in just a minute, ladies and gentlemen, so be sure to tune in very soon.
Stairs. Nothing great ever happened without a witness.
Oh, you guys saw that?
With the power to capture comes the need to share.
Check this.
Followed by the eyeballs and loud mouths chomping at the bit.
That was nuts.
The fate of the game rests in your hands.
Check this out. No. Oh my God.
Leave nothing to chance. Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.